Have you ever noticed that the moment you try the hardest to hold your life together is often the moment it feels like it's slipping through your fingers? Not the dramatic disasters, not the obvious crises, the quiet ones, the nights when your mind won't shut up, the constant rehearsing of conversations that haven't happened, the invisible pressure to figure everything out, your future, your purpose, your identity, your next move. Right now, you tell yourself it's responsibility, maturity, planning ahead. But what if it's something else? What if the exhaustion you carry isn't from life itself, but from trying to force life to behave? Because here's a truth most people never hear. You are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you're trying to control what was never yours to control. And the most brutal part? The more you try, the worse it gets. Today, I want to show you a different way to live. One that doesn't depend on perfect plans, guaranteed outcomes, or total clarity. A way that doesn't require you to become fearless, flawless, or endlessly productive. But be warned, this path doesn't start with answers. It starts with something far more uncomfortable. Admitting that you don't have them. And strangely, that's where freedom begins. The illusion of control. From the time you were young, you were taught a simple equation. If you do everything right, things will turn out right. Study hard, success. Work hard, security. Be good, be loved. Plan carefully, avoid mistakes. It sounds logical, fair, safe. But reality doesn't operate on equations. People leave without warning. Opportunities vanish overnight. Careers collapse. Health changes. Feelings shift. Plans fall apart. And suddenly the strategy you trusted your whole life stops working. So what do most people do? They don't question the strategy. They double down. More planning, more worrying, more analysis, more control. You start checking everything twice, anticipating every scenario, playing out every worst-case outcome as if rehearsing could prevent reality. But control isn't a solution. It's a coping mechanism. And like most coping mechanisms, it works just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to set you free. Anxiety isn't fear of disaster. It's fear of uncertainty. Think about it. Most of the things you worry about haven't happened. Many never will. What hurts isn't the event. It's the not knowing. Your brain would rather prepare for a painful certainty than sit inside an unknown one. Even bad news feels safer than no news. Even a terrible outcome feels manageable compared to endless possibility. So your mind scans the horizon constantly, looking for danger, clues, answers. This is why you can feel exhausted even on days when nothing bad happens. You've been fighting invisible battles all day. The cost no one talks about. Control doesn't just drain your energy. It slowly shrinks your life. You hesitate before trying new things. You avoid risks that might lead to growth. You replay the past instead of living the present. You delay decisions waiting for perfect clarity. And while you wait for certainty, time moves anyway. Years pass, opportunities expire, people change, you change. Ironically, the attempt to prevent loss often causes the biggest loss of all, the loss of living. The turning point most people never reach. There comes a moment, quiet, almost invisible, when you realize something unsettling. You can do everything right and still not control the outcome. You can love deeply and still be left. You can work hard and still be overlooked. You can plan carefully and still fail. You can make the safest choice and still regret it. This realization can break you or free you. Because once you see it clearly, a new possibility opens. Maybe your job was never to control life. Maybe your job was to participate in it. The courage to not know. There's a strange kind of strength in saying, I don't know. Not as defeat, not as indifference, but as honesty. You don't know exactly who you'll become. You don't know how things will unfold. You don't know which decision will lead to the best future. And neither does anyone else, no matter how confident they sound. Most people are improvising far more than they admit. The difference is that some are comfortable with it, and others are fighting it every step of the way. Why letting go feels so scary? If control makes you miserable, why is it so hard to release? Because control creates the illusion of safety. It whispers, if you just think a little harder, plan a little better, worry a little more, you can prevent pain. But pain isn't something you can eliminate from life, only something you can become resilient enough to face. Letting go doesn't guarantee nothing bad will happen. It simply means you stop sacrificing today to protect against every possible tomorrow. The paradox of peace. Peace doesn't come when everything is solved. Peace comes when you stop needing everything solved to feel okay. Imagine waking up without immediately scanning for problems. Imagine making a decision without obsessing over whether it's the perfect one. Imagine allowing yourself to enjoy something without worrying how long it will last. That's not irresponsibility. That's psychological freedom. What actually changes when you stop gripping so tight? Life outside may look almost the same, but inside, something shifts. Your thoughts slow down. Your body relaxes. You become more present in conversations. Small moments feel richer. Mistakes feel survivable instead of catastrophic. You stop living in a permanent emergency. And ironically, you often make better decisions. Not because you know the future, but because you're no longer blinded by fear. Flexibility is the new strength. We often admire rigid confidence, people who seem certain about everything. But rigidity breaks under pressure. Flexibility bends and survives. A flexible person can adapt when plans change, can revise beliefs without collapsing, can start over without losing identity. They don't need life to stay stable because they trust themselves to navigate instability. The myth of figuring yourself out. Many people secretly believe there will come a day when they finally understand themselves completely. Their purpose, their personality, their path, their desires. And after that day, everything will be clear forever. But humans aren't finished products. You're not meant to arrive at a final version of yourself. You're meant to evolve. The person you were 5 years ago wanted different things, feared different things, believed different things. The same will be true 5 years from now. So waiting to figure it all out before living is like waiting for the ocean to stop moving before swimming. A different relationship with the future. You don't need to stop planning. You just need to stop worshiping the plan. Make goals. Take action. Prepare as best you can, and then allow reality to respond. Life is less like building a machine and more like having a conversation. You say something, it replies. You adjust. It shifts again. Progress comes from responsiveness, not rigidity. The hidden freedom of imperfection. When you release the demand to do everything perfectly, something unexpected happens. You become more creative, more courageous, more authentic. Because perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about fear of consequences. When that fear softens, exploration becomes possible. You try things you might fail at. You speak honestly instead of strategically. You choose what matters instead of what looks safest. And this is where real growth begins. How to live with uncertainty without losing yourself. You don't need grand philosophical breakthroughs. You need simple practices. Pause before reacting to every anxious thought. Write down worries instead of looping them endlessly. Focus on what you can do today, not every hypothetical tomorrow. Spend time in silence so your mind can settle. And perhaps most importantly, develop a sense of humor about your own humanity. You will contradict yourself. You will change your mind. You will make choices that later look questionable. Welcome to being human. The moment everything gets lighter. There's a quiet turning point where the future stops feeling like an enemy and starts feeling like open space. Not because it's predictable, but because you no longer need it to be. You realize that uncertainty isn't proof something is wrong. It's proof you're alive inside a dynamic world. What you gain when you release the need for control. Not chaos, not passivity, not carelessness. You gain capacity. Capacity to adapt. Capacity to recover. Capacity to enjoy the present without bargaining with the future. You stop trying to eliminate risk and start building resilience. And resilience is far more reliable than prediction. The quiet truth waiting at the end. Everything you've been trying so hard to secure, certainty, permanence, guarantees, was never fully available to begin with. But something else was. Your ability to experience, to respond, to grow, to begin again. Life isn't asking you to control it. It's asking you to engage with it, messily, imperfectly, courageously. One simple sentence that changes everything. If you remember nothing else, remember this. You don't need to know exactly where you're going to take the next step. Clarity often follows movement, not the other way around. So here's the real question. Not what will happen to you, but how much of your energy are you still spending trying to make sure nothing unexpected ever does? And what might become possible if that energy were released? If this message resonates with you, it may be because a part of you is already ready to loosen its grip, to breathe a little deeper, to trust a little more, to live a little less guarded. Not because life will suddenly become easy, but because you will no longer be fighting it at every turn. And that changes everything.